My first real job in LA was working as a gopher for a company that produced video discs. Sarah Ann worked there with me. It's unbelievable. 1981. Video discs, a far too early incarnation of DVDs. One of the menial tasks I had with this company was getting the cars of the various executives washed once a week. Located on Sunset Boulevard, just east of Laurel, not far from here, was the Sunset Car Wash. I'd driven the BMW of one of my bosses there to be washed, and while watching the car get soapy foamed up through the window, who should be standing right next to me? Oh, come on, they all know this.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jerry
Seinfeld. Thank you. Everyone knows this is my story.
What was he in?
I think he was in 10 with Dee Wallace.
Right, yeah.
He tried to pick her up at the bar, but couldn't get it up, apparently. Imagine if that was Jerry Seinfeld in your... Jerry Seinfeld's at the car wash. Now, I'd seen Jerry perform 1 year earlier in Manhattan when my buddy Steve and I, on double dates, attended one of his shows at the comic strip. Steve and I laughed so hard, we cried into our cocktail napkins. He was very, very funny from day one. He was. Jerry Seinfeld, I asked. Yes, he said, stunned that I knew who he was. I stuck out my hand and said, my name is Dan. I'm your biggest fan. He responded, gee, I didn't know I had any fans. This is a true story. I continued, I just moved out here from New Jersey. I saw you last year in New York. You're the funniest comedian I've ever seen. Thank you very much, he said. That's very nice of you to say. We chit-chatted for a while, watched our cars go through the car wash. What brings you here today, I asked. Well, he said, in a few hours, I'll be on the Tonight Show for the first time. So I thought my car should be clean. I'll be sure to watch, I said. June 5th, 1981. When our cars were done, I actually said, you know, Jerry, we're both from the East. You all know this story. I am so sick of my own material. I really am. You know, Jerry, we're both from the East Coast, and we're both about the same age. I'd really like to be friends with you. Can I get your phone number? This is the truth, I swear to God. Oh, well, I don't give out my number, but if you want to reach me, here's my manager. So he gave me his manager's business card. We shook hands. We went our separate ways. And he was on the Tonight Show that night, and he killed. He did great. Johnny Carson loved him. Cut to 1993. Okay, so I met him in 1981. Cut to 1993. While working at a TV convention in San Francisco, I walked through the convention floor, came upon the Sony television booth to see Jerry Seinfeld there greeting fans. Now here I was again with Jerry 12 years later. His TV show Seinfeld having just very recently become wildly popular. Hey Jerry, I said, approaching him. We shook hands. I met you back in 1981 at the Sunset Car Wash. It was the day you made your debut on The Tonight Show. Jerry studied my face for a few seconds and then said, I remember you. You wanted to be my friend. As if he'd suddenly received a jolt of electricity to his spine, Jerry Seinfeld withdrew his hand from our handshake, turned, and waltzed off quickly.
Oh.
Now, while I happened to get a photo, the photo of me and Jerry was right before he turned and walked away. I happened to get the photo, but all I can say in retrospect is that when I asked Jerry, can we be friends, back in 81, at a car wash in West Hollywood, he probably thought I was hitting on him. Okay, that's not funny. Okay. My next job was as an administrative assistant at the American Film Institute campus, located atop a very steep hill in Los Feliz. That's where I met little Ron and little Melanie. 1982. One morning while I was walking up Western Avenue, I still had no car. I saw a small film crew shooting a movie at a drive-through bank. I walked up to observe, and I saw a beautiful brunette sitting inside the exterior bank teller's window. She looked bored. The filmmakers were adjusting their lights, cameras, and microphones, and it looked like she just had nothing else to do. When this woman saw me, she smiled broadly and winked. I waved to her, and she waved back. I had no idea who she was. But I thought it was pretty cool. Such an attractive woman was flirty with me. Many years later, I realized the brunette was Deborah Winger. She was shooting a scene from her film called Mike's Murder. I've never seen that movie, but She was pretty hot that day. I remember that clearly.